Well, Live Healthy Now is going to be on tonight, and we want to live healthy like right now. So Aviva Allen is here. She's one of Toronto's leading nutritionists, and she's the author of the Organic Kosher Cookbook. So your emphasis is on whole, unprocessed foods.
Yes.
Right, and define processed. I mean, is it all the flour that's ground up, or is there?
So a whole food is a food that's in its natural state with all its edible parts.
Like this turnip.
Okay. It's not
Parsnip.
a turnip, it's a parsnip.
Like this parsnip.
So, you know, for example, an orange, you're not going to eat the peel. That's not considered its edible part, but eating the whole orange as opposed to orange juice, right?
Gotcha.
Okay. So, do you want me to talk about what we're making today?
Yeah.
Well, we are going to be talking about how to get your kids to eat more veggies. And one of the first things that we want to look at is, do they taste good, right? Because kids are no dummies. So why would they want to eat something that doesn't taste good?
And it seems like you've got to make the vegetable taste extra good because for some reason they're pre-programmed not to like them. I don't know what that is. So you've got to go overboard to making them taste extra good, even though they're probably fine on their own, but just to get them on board.
Parsnips are naturally very sweet and nutritious. So we are going to be making honey roasted parsnips.
Love it.
And you can find the recipe on my website as well, but I'm going to demonstrate. So the first thing we want to do is peel the parsnip.
Oh, really? You can't just give it a good scrub?
You can. But sometimes the peels of carrots or parsnips, they can be a little bit bitter tasting.
It's true.
So, you know, if you want to maximize the chances that your child will want to eat it, you want to take all the necessary precautions. So we're going to cut it into about 2-inch sticks. So they look almost like fries when you're done with it.
And the color helps too.
Yes.
Because it's not an obvious vegetable. It could be a potato. But I like the fact that you're not trying to hide these vegetables. You're just making them taste really good.
And that's what I focus on. You know, there's so many cookbooks out there now about how to hide vegetables in the food that you're feeding your children, which is fine. I mean, look, if you're going to add a few extra nutrients here and there, great. But it shouldn't be the only way you can get your kids to eat vegetables because you're not going to be able to do that forever. They're going to go to university at some point, and they're going to be out in the real world.
Yeah.
So we've cut these into sticks, and I've got as well some started over here.
They smell good. Parsnips, turnips are the ones that are a little bit bitter, right? Parsnips are quite
No, they're
yummy.
very sweet. So now the actual proper measurements are in the recipe that you can find, but I think it's about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, some sea salt, and we're going to just mix that up first so that they're all coated evenly, because once we start adding the honey, it gets a little bit sticky.
And the sea salt you like rather than iodized salt or the table salt we buy.
Yeah, it's an unprocessed, hand-harvested, sun-dried type sea salt, and you have more trace minerals there. So then we're going to put some honey. It's about 2 tablespoons. I use either raw or unpasteurized honey because you'll have some enzymes and more nutrients that are retained that way.
Has it gone through that heating process, right?
Yeah, well, liquid honey will have some heating, but not the same as pasteurized. So for this recipe, it's just important for it to be liquidy because it's going to be hard to mix it otherwise. And then I've got some sesame seeds. Just gives it a little bit more texture. Okay, and you toss these and make sure they're well coated, and then you're going to...
You could even get the kids to help you.
Oh, for sure. They can do the adding of ingredients and the mixing, and you just do the cutting. So you're going to just spread them out onto a baking sheet, and I line it with parchment paper so it's easier to remove and much easier to clean after. So as best you can, try and space them out so they're not overlapping. That way they'll get crispy and not soggy.
Nice.
Okay, and then put it in the oven for about 45 minutes, and you can just rotate between the top and bottom shelf so they don't get burned on one side.
Okay.
And then they're
flip
done.
them every now and again?
You don't even have to.
Oh,
just
good.
rotate the sheets. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So.
And is this the finished product?
This is the finished product.
They look delicious.
Thank you.
Can I try one?
You can.
Oh, good. That's delicious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they'll love that.
Okay, now we're going to be making some veggie wraps. Okay?
Aha.
And we're using some sprouted whole grain tortillas here. Okay?
Why the sprouted grains?
Sprouted grains, they're going to have more protein, easier to digest.
Really?
Yeah, and there's a lot of wraps out there that are really overly processed, lots of preservatives and sugar and whatnot, and these don't have that. So I like to use these. All right, so we're going to make them together.
Okay.
So one of the great things you can do to help your kids want to eat more veggies is getting them involved in making this. And this is something that they can do with you. So you have all the ingredients prepared. Second thing is give them choices, okay? So you lay out all these choices. They don't have to put all of them inside, but let them pick which ones they want, rather than telling them, this is the vegetable, you have to eat it, but which vegetable would you like? Tomatoes or peppers. And then cutting them into fun shapes and making it fun, like these peppers in little flowers, or these cucumbers have little designs. With this, you just take a fork and drag it along the side of the cucumber, and you get this little design. Yeah.
I love that.
And so, okay, so we are going to start with some hummus, which is pureed chickpeas, very high in protein and calcium. Okay, spread a little bit of that in there.
We always have it in our house because my daughter actually enjoys it.
We've got some avocados, which are very nutritious, omega-3 fats you've got in there.
And they're kind of creamy. They just sort of blend in, right?
Yeah. And if your child doesn't like chunks of avocado, you could try mashing it. It's like a guacamole, right? Some kids will prefer one over the other. So then you can take a few cucumbers. And the pepper might be a little difficult to wrap, but you could break it in half if you want. But if they want it to look like a flower, then you could certainly keep it that way. You throw a few of these grape tomatoes, which are very sweet. A lot of kids like those.
And does the fact that it's so colorful help?
Oh, for sure.
In making it more appealing to them?
Yeah, more nutritious too when you've got all the different colors. And then this is romaine lettuce. A lot of kids will only eat iceberg, I find, which is not the most nutritious
No, it's basically
lettuce.
water with...
Right, but they like the crunch of it.
Right.
And so I like using the romaine because the hearts are pretty crispy too, and you've got calcium in romaine lettuce that you don't have with the iceberg. Okay, now here's the tricky part.
Tell you what, let's save the wrapping lesson for when we get back, because that is the hard part. Okay, more with Aviva when we come back. Stay tuned. Yes, how to properly wrap without it falling apart.
Yeah.
Okay. Back with nutritionist Aviva Allen. We've made these beautiful wraps that the kids are going to love because the kids have helped make them, and we're trying to get them to eat veggies. Now we're going to learn the proper wrapping technique.
Okay, so turn it sideways so your ingredients are lengthwise, all right? Fold it kind of like an envelope, so you're going to meet your two sides together, folding like that, yep. With your thumbs, fold it almost to the top there, and then slide and tuck this part in, and then just roll it.
Oh, that is not at all what I thought you had to do.
Sometimes it takes a little practice, right? And then you can take your nut. You could just cut it in half, but if you cut it diagonally, it makes it a little bit more exciting. Okay?
Oh, look how pretty that looks. That is great. I think I need to try mine again. It takes a little bit of practice, right? Love it. So picky eaters, we can get lots of information on recipes for kids on your website, right?
Yes, on my website there's also a healthy eating chart for kids, a reward chart, but it's non-food rewards. That's really key, okay? You're not saying, oh, if you eat healthy, then you can have a piece of chocolate cake after. But something like, a book that they want, or go to the movies or whatever it is. So it's a very colorful chart, and for some kids it can be motivating. So you can find that on my website as well.
That is brilliant. And for great recipes, we can go to your website. Don't forget the book. What is it again?
The Organic Kosher Cookbook.
you
The
go.
original one you can get by in an e-cookbook format right now.
Brilliant.
So.
So get all that info at avivaallen.com. And of course, if you want the recipe and any of the recipes we have on our website, go to rogerstv.com/Daytime Toronto. Still to come, we've got fashions with